Hey guys, it's Chelsea Angelella with Transcending Pain. I'm back with another video today for the Read and Ramble YouTube series. Today, I'll do a little bit of rambling in the beginning, but I'm not actually going to ramble much as I'm reading this book because this book is one that I read after I went through my healing journey. So I'm just going to read this as it is. I can't give you any insight as to what I was experiencing at the time I was healing because, again, I was past that point. But this has been an instrumental book in the mind-body medical community and people who have been looking for freedom from their chronic symptoms. It's by Nicole Sachs. It's Mind Your Body. And today I'll be reading from the chapter on self-compassion and acceptance. I know for me, that acceptance piece and self-compassion was so important, very instrumental in my own personal healing journey. And I know a lot of people struggle with this part. So if you've been considering her book, I would like to share part of this chapter with you to give you a glimpse into what Nicole has to say. So I'll be reading from chapter 12, Self-Compassion and Acceptance as Essential Tools. And this starts on page 207. I have the hardback copy version here. So I'm just going to read a little bit. And as I always encourage, let go of any differences that you may find. Just allow this to settle into you, into your awareness, and see what resonates with you. By now, you know that most chronic conditions originate from a dysregulated nervous system. Your brain is working overtime to protect you from the overflowing reservoir by sending pain signals or chronic disease flare-ups, alerting you that it's time to rest and repair yourself. So, as we continue together on this path to enduring wellness, there are essential practices that will not only ease the burden of the journey, but stop extra volume from being deposited in the form of self-criticism, inner loathing, and desperation to change what is. Think for a moment about the importance of energy in any given situation. The energy you bring can either inflame or soothe, and being aware of this truth is more important than ever when approaching chronic pain recovery. Guys, this is so hard not to ramble during this. I might end up rambling, so we'll see. I'm just thinking, like, when I was reading the words self-criticism, inner loathing, desperation, that was me, totally me. Envision your daily JournalSpeak practice as the bailing out of a sinking boat. And if you're not familiar with JournalSpeak, she talks about the practice in the beginning of the book or earlier in the book. So get the book. You have your proverbial ladle, which allows you scoop by scoop to make sure your emotional reservoir doesn't spill over. Remember, this reservoir is filled with unacceptable emotions that will cause the brain to send symptoms when it bubbles over. To this end, it is essential to focus in every phase of our lives on keeping the contents of that beaker as low as possible. This leveling may feel exhausting, but please, please comfort yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. I'm going to emphasize that. You are exactly where you need to be. Being human is hard, no matter how you slice it. So we aim to focus on the kind of hard that actually moves us forward. In the world of what hurts versus what hurts worse, living in pain and chronic anxiety are on one side of the scales, and living this work is on the other. We want to put our energies in the right place. So how do you cultivate the dynamic of calm and peace that's so essential in rewiring your brain? Did you hear that? Calm and peace is so essential to rewiring your brain. I have found a powerful answer to this question in the practices of self-compassion and acceptance. How does it feel to hear those words? Do you reflexively balk at the thought of concepts that may feel like a waste of time or even a show of weakness? If so, I hear you and I get it. And I hear you and I get it too. You're in good company. As we've touched on, we are a society of suck-it-uppers. We oppose vulnerability. We tend to dismiss the importance of self-compassion, and we erroneously equate acceptance with agreement, rendering us resistant to the profound relief it offers. I know that accepting a situation for what it is feels like you are releasing your desire for it to change, but that is not accurate. In fact, it is the exact energy that keeps the situation from changing at all. We will work together here to help you understand the difference. As we've done consistently together regarding other confusions that have been ingrained in us around health, let's partner to turn all of our misplaced thinking around. Self-compassion and acceptance are as integral as anything else I am teaching here. This is indeed incredibly exciting stuff. There are 2 reasons. First, your number 1 goal is to be free of chronic symptoms, however they're manifesting for you. When you are being self-compassionate instead of judgmental, there is far less content being dumped into your emotional reservoir on a daily basis. And if you're not familiar with the reservoir concept, Nicole talks about this earlier in the book. It's impossible to overstate the ways in which hating on ourselves in its many forms contributes to flares and chronic symptoms. The practice of acceptance carries the same weight. When you spend time and energy resisting the givens of any situation, you are only swimming against the current. Opening to this fact will free you incredibly to make progress. Don't worry. I will provide precise tools to move you into this state of equanimity. The second reason for embracing these essential practices is so profound, it's hard for me to find the right words for its importance. As you work through this program, my loves, your pain will go away. It will go away. It's not a question. It will go away. You'll see. But as I mentioned in our discussion of the answer, so ANSR is the acronym. It stands for Allow, Name, Stay, Release, and it can be found outlined on pages 174 to 176 of, I have the hard copy of the book. So as I mentioned in our discussion of the answer, pain is the littlest, biggest part. Sure, when you are suffering physically, it's impossible to focus on anything else. But once the pain begins to subside, these practices will transform your relationship with yourself. The self-talk generated within them will reparent the sweet and suffering little kid who didn't get what they needed to emotionally thrive. When you hear person after person fall to their knees in gratitude on my podcast, thanking the pain for the ways it's invited them to see the world in new and transformative ways, self-compassion and acceptance are the heart of what they're talking about. If you're not familiar with Nicole's podcast, I will link it in the comments along with a link to purchase this book if you're interested. I'll come back to share more of the self-compassion and acceptance as essential tools chapter in another video. But again, you know me, I like to keep it short and sweet for you. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I believe in you. I love you. And I'll see you soon. Take care.